Good morning. Let me show you what I'm feeding my 4 kids today as a mom on a pretty tight grocery budget.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about what I fed my family for one day, what it cost, and what it cost per person. I'm going to be using Walmart prices for this because statistically that is what most Americans have access to. And I'm going to be sharing below my grocery list in case you want to follow along. And of course, prices are subject to where you live and so many other things, but let's just dive into the video.
Okay, so actually nobody's up right now because it's 6:45 and I am drinking my coffee, buying the bulk coffee at Sam's, but I also get coffee at Aldi. This was actually a free K-cup I got as a sample at Sam's in one of those little machines. So Friday of this week, I dropped my kids off at a friend's house to swim, and another mom who I'm friends with had dropped her son off, and she was like, "Hey, do you want to go hang out?" And so our hangout time was we took our younger kids to the library, and then we ran our errands together, including Sam's, where we took our kids to lunch, and it cost me $5 to feed 3 of my kids lunch at Sam's. But today we're eating at home, doing all the things at home. But I just thought that was a funny little story.
So on this particular day, I made omelets, banana nut muffins. We had fruit and milk to go with it. Not all of us had an omelet, just 4 out of 6 of us chose to eat one. In full transparency, I do not buy my eggs at the grocery store, not because I think there's anything wrong with them, but because I have chickens. So in honesty, my eggs probably cost way more than they do at the grocery store. But according to Walmart's own website, if I did buy my eggs at the grocery store, they would have been $3.34 for a dozen. I also used Krusty's muffin mix, so that was $3.72. And I got a block of cheddar cheese that I grated. And then again, I mentioned I used a little bit of butter. We had strawberries and milk. And so the total cost for all 6 of us was $12.26 or $2.04 per person. I know the cost of groceries just keeps rising, and the point of this video isn't to militantly track every single cent of every single food item that we consume in a day. It's really to show you the effectiveness of cooking at home and meal planning because you can, with intention, for the most part, keep those prices under check. But I never said it was going to be easy. I just said it would be doable. Also, let's be honest, sometimes it is really difficult to cook from home. If you're having a really busy week, if you have 2 parents working outside the home, you have access to running water and a usable kitchen. Every single one of us has a different life and different things that we're dealing with. And so do not ever take any advice I give to make you feel guilty. I'm for the moms on tight budgets and tight schedules. So on this particular day, it was raining, and one of my kids said, "It's a perfect day for a grilled cheese sandwich." And it was so cozy. He was right. We have this cute little Pokemon grilled cheese maker, and I just use Nature's Own butter bread and cheddar slices. And then we had some fruit on the side. The bread is $3.42 loaf, and then the cheese is $1.97. And then we had grapes. We did not use all of the cheese. We did not use all of the bread. So the cost would be $8.06, which is $1.34 per person. My kids also eat 2 snacks a day, one at 10:30 a.m. and one at about 4, and then we do dinner between 6 and 7. And this has just always kind of been the schedule. I mean, if they're hungry, like really hungry in between, sure, but usually they're not. Like we just stick to our schedule. We love a routine. But snacks are usually like a cup of yogurt, like scooped out of the Greek yogurt container, and maybe some fruit and granola on top, cheese sticks, apples and peanut butter. I try to keep things as healthy as possible snack wise and include like protein and a few healthy carbohydrates. But also, I limit our prepackaged snacks when we're at home. So I do buy prepackaged snacks for the days that I need to pack lunch, but to save on costs, we don't need it. If it comes in a wrapper, it's not usually eaten at home. For dinner, I made lasagna. So in my house, once a week, one kid gets to decide what we have for dinner. So that means once a month, every child gets their favorite meal. And it was my youngest son's turn, and he chose lasagna. And this is such a great recipe. It's so easy. If you ever need to take a meal to someone or to a group event, every time I bring this, people are like, "What's the recipe? It's so good." And it is so stupid easy. Also, this recipe makes two. It makes two lasagnas, and they come out to be about $11 a piece. I realize as I'm editing this video that this was a very cheese heavy day. And no, we don't eat this much cheese on a daily basis, but that's how this worked out for some reason. Oh, I use a pound of ground beef and I add a little garlic to it. I did not include garlic in my cost per recipe breakdown because I'm just assuming if you watch this channel long enough, you have enough garlic because I put it in everything. A box of lasagna noodles, the big 66-ounce container of ragu, a big container of ricotta, big package of mozzarella cheese. I think comes out to be 2 cups, and that's it. That's it. And then you layer. So I do not get the oven ready noodles because I do not feel like they are necessary. I cook the meat on the stove. I add in some garlic. I add in half the sauce. Then I put a little sauce in the bottom of my Pyrex dish and I put the noodles directly in it. And then I put an egg in the ricotta, some Italian seasoning, salt, pepper, stir it all together, and then you get to layering. So, noodles or a little bit of sauce, noodles, cheese, meat, noodles, cheese, meat, noodles. You keep going until you get to the top. Then I pour my pasta sauce over the entire thing, sprinkle with mozzarella, and then I cover it in aluminum foil, bake at 350 for about an hour. And again, this makes 2 full lasagnas. Sometimes I'll do a bigger lasagna and then I'll get a mini lasagna out of it, but one goes in the freezer. So on this particular night, my husband did not let it cool before he started cutting it, and that is why it fell apart because he was so hungry. But it was absolutely delicious, and we have an extra to go in the freezer. So the cost breakdown of this is the ground beef was $6.73 a pound. A box of lasagna noodles is $2. I used a quarter of the bottle of Italian seasoning, so it was 32 cents. But an entire bottle of Italian seasoning is less than $2. 66-ounce jar of pasta sauce, that's $4.97. 16 ounces of mozzarella cheese, $3.78. The ricotta cheese for the big tub, $4. And then I used 1 egg. And so the breakdown for both lasagnas is $22.08, but I'm only counting $11.04 towards today because one of them would go in the freezer. So you can decide to break that math up however you want, but it comes out to be $1.84 per person. So my total, if I counted that lasagna into my daily breakdown, would be $42 or $7.07 per person. But if I take that out, that would be $31. Let me do the math. Hold on, let me pull up my calculator. That comes out to $5.16 per person for the entire day. And that's pretty freaking good. Did not include snacks in today's breakdown. If I did, because I couldn't recall what snacks we had on this particular day, but if I did, and my kids did apples and peanut butter and yogurt and granola, the cost of snacks would be $6.07, which would be $1.52 per kid. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this style of video. If you did, give it a thumbs up so I will know to make more. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in my next video.